On the political impact with James Carville and Bill Bennett and others. Also tonight, the politics of fear. Why even now so many Americans still believe that Barack Obama is a Muslim and all the other false rumors still swirling out there. Later, breaking news, an investigation announced into a Bush fundraiser's promises, all of it caught on tape. A top Bush money man promising access to everyone right up to the vice president. All you got to do is shell out a couple $100,000 for the Bush Library. What does the White House have to say about it? We're keeping them honest tonight. And baby photos for sale. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie reportedly auctioning off photos of their newborn twins. Why do the rich and famous do this? Is it fair? Is it right? A lot to cover. We begin, though, with a magazine cover that today has become front page news. This cover on this week's edition of The New Yorker. Barack and Michelle Obama, a portrait of bin Laden hanging above the fireplace where an American flag burns. The editor says it's satire, calling it too over the top to be mistaken for anything else. The Obamas and McCain campaigns, however, have condemned it. Whatever you think, and James Carville and Bill Bennett and others are going to weigh in a moment, the magazine cover has put the focus squarely back on a serious problem for the Obama campaign. More than 1 in 10 Americans still believe something about him that simply isn't true. Let's start with the magazine, the cover, and 360's Gary Tuckman.
Coming soon to a newsstand near you, if it isn't there already, a drawing of Obama, dressed like Osama, whose portrait is mounted on the Oval Office wall, on top of a fireplace with an American flag burning in the embers, while at the same time the presidential candidate gives a fist bump to his radical black militant wife with an afro and a submachine gun. And it's all on the cover of the prestigious and liberal New Yorker magazine.
The idea is to attack lies and misconceptions and distortions about the Obamas and their background and their politics.
New Yorker editor David Remnick says this is obvious satire. But at this Manhattan newsstand, some find it not so obvious.
Well, I guess they want us to believe he's a Muslim, huh?
You think the New Yorker wants you to believe that?
Yeah. That's what it looks like to me.
It's satire. But they don't want you to believe that. The opposite.
Uh-huh.
Didn't get it, did you?
I guess not. You asked the wrong person.
Barack Obama was asked about it, too. He shrugged and then said,
I have no responsibility.
But one of his spokesmen did. Bill Burton saying in a statement, most readers will see it as tasteless and offensive, and we agree. Also agreeing, Barack Obama's Republican opponent.
I just saw a picture of it on television. I think it's totally inappropriate, and frankly, I understand if Senator Obama and his supporters would find it offensive.
The New Yorker's editor says the magazine is provocative and that he would do this again.
I do want to state very, very clearly the intention of this cover, in no uncertain terms, is to talk about the politics of fear and the lies that have been told about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as well.
But at this newsstand, do you think that cover is positive about Barack Obama or negative? Do you think they're trying to be positive or negative about him?
I guess negative.
Not everyone is thinking satire. Gary Tuckman, CNN, New York.
Let's dig deeper with CNN senior political analyst and former presidential advisor David Gergen, CNN political analyst and radio talk show host Roland Martin, and Joe Madison, whose show can be heard locally in Washington, D.C. and nationwide on XM satellite radio. Joe, the New Yorker says, look, it's satire. What do you think?
No, it's satire, but it failed, and if you have to explain satire, it's poor satire. That's exactly how I feel about it.
Roland?
It's very poor satire. It didn't make sense.
Anderson, when I was flying in, I was sending an email about the cover, also what the headline, and then David Ribnick's comments. And I said, well, you put all that together, it makes sense that they're trying to go after those people who are trying to portray Michelle Obama as being militant, Obama as being a Muslim. But when I came in and one of the staffers gave me the hard copy, the problem is someone who's run 3 newspapers, there's no headline on the actual cover. Right. On the actual tease here, it doesn't even address what the cover is trying to do. And on 18 pages on the inside, you don't even touch upon what you're supposedly trying to condemn. So I think they missed an opportunity to go after the critics, those windbags out there who are trying to portray them as being un-American, as militant. They failed in that regard.
David, the Obama campaign calls it offensive. John McCain, as you saw, called it totally inappropriate. Your take?
It's a real clunker, Anderson, and I think both McCain and Obama are right about this. You know, under David Remnick's leadership, the New Yorker has earned a reputation for being sharp and witty, and ordinarily it is that. This time, they just made a terrible mistake. You know, it was a failure of judgment, and they turned out a cover that is both dumb and decidedently unfunny.
But Anderson, I think the Obama campaign... Go ahead, David, I'm sorry.
And Anderson,
well, I just think what we're dealing with... Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Just go ahead, please.
David, finish the thought.
Okay, just, you know, There are so many raw emotions in this campaign around this question of race, of Muslim, of terrorism, of patriotism. That this, I think, it came into something, and I think because it's so hard to get it as satire, and your opening piece said that, I just think it rubbed those emotions raw, and the earlier it gets behind us, the better.
Joe, is race involved in this?
Oh, of course it's involved in it. I mean, you look at the character of Michelle Obama with the big fro and the AK whatever and the guns. Quite honestly, that to me is an image of Patty Hearst. That's what comes to my mind. Then the burning of the flag. The reality is that once again, and David hit it and Roland is absolutely right. I was with Oscar Robertson today. We flew into Cincinnati for the NAACP convention. And he said, look, you can quote me. The big O said, you can quote me. This is America attempting to raise its ugly, racist head once again. And we ought to be prepared to chop it off. And I think he's absolutely correct. We have this gap. We have this raw, open wound. And all this does is just pour salt on it, especially from a candidate who started off his campaign with trying to find common ground and to bridge the chasms that we all face. I mean, the reality is conservative or liberal, and it's sad that this is somewhat of a liberal publication.
Well, Roland, should that give them
these
something?
Kinds of friends?
Roland, should that give them something of a pass? The fact that they have said very positive things about Obama in the past.
No, I never believe in giving anybody a pass. Look, I didn't give Reverend Jackson a pass with his comments, and so I don't give people on the left or the right a pass. But look, the Obama campaign, they also must get a lot more aggressive in going after these critics who are trying to portray them as being un-American, portraying Michelle Obama as being militant. You cannot allow it to simply sit out there. I think what they should be telling their supporters is, like, you know what? Forget boycotting the New Yorker. What you should be doing is going after those same windbags, those rhetorical thugs who are denouncing him and denouncing his wife, calling in their radio shows, blasting them in magazines and newspapers, and not just simply hoping people get the truth out. You must fight fire with fire in this information age.
David, there's some who would argue this would be David, there's some who could argue that this might be a positive thing for the Obama campaign. It highlights how outrageous some of these smears are against him. It gets people talking and focusing on it.
Well, I think it gets people talking about the New Yorker more than it does about Obama, and I don't. But I have to say, listen, I edited a national news magazine for a while, U.S. News and World Report. The hardest call you have to make as an editor each week is the cover, and it's a tricky call because it's always a matter of taste and of judgment. And ordinarily, the New Yorker and David Remnick have set very, very high standards. I just think they missed on this one. It was a question of judgment, and they missed it. I don't think they intended any harm. And I think the last thing Obama ought to be doing is making a big deal of it. I think he needs to get back to the issues, stick with it, stick with the substance, stick with his hopes for America, go on Larry King tomorrow night, talk about Iraq, talk about his domestic plans, his economic plans, and let this go. There'll be enough trash talk about the New Yorker elsewhere. He needs to focus on
Which certainly
future.
seems like he's trying to do. He wouldn't even kind of address it, just saying he has no comment on it. He left it up to one of his campaign spokesmen to address it. Joe, David Brody...
He didn't address it here at the convention.
He didn't address it tonight?
He didn't address it. Oh, no. I mean, didn't have to. I mean, people here were disgusted by it. And I think David is absolutely right. Maybe people like myself and others with talk shows like Roland, and I mean, let us jump. But, I think Obama needs to stay on message. And and I'll tell you something else. If people keep this up, there's going to be blowback. Or as a fireman told me today, a captain told me today, you're going to have a backburn. And it's just like in the 60s. When people see this kind of raw absurdity, young people today will react, and they may react by going to the polls, which could help.
But Joe, the real
Obama.
absurdity is really not the New Yorker, and I understand the point, but it's the fact that you have the people out there who are trying to smear this, trying to say they're militant and un-American, and that's, I think, the real issue. That's where the New Yorker missed it. If the article had dealt with those individuals who are out there using television and radio to drive this, then it makes sense. But the cover simply does not match the article itself, which is about his history as a politician politician in Chicago. It makes no sense. It's a disconnect.
We're going to have to leave it there. Joe Madison.
But I'm just saying, let us take care of that. He needs to stay on message, Roland. He really does.
We're going to need to leave it there. Joe Madison, Roland Martin, David Gergen, thank you. Appreciate it. Let us know what you think about this controversy. There's live chat happening now online. Join at our website, ac360.com. I'm about to join in during the commercial break. Up next, we're going to look closer at the false rumors about Obama and why so many Americans still seem to believe him. James Carville and Bill Bennett are going to weigh in on the rumors and the magazine cover.
Satire is fine, but it's got to work. This didn't work.
There's a bunch of people who think the Earth is 5,000 years old. Can you imagine anything that ridiculous? Would you let them think that? What can you do?
Later, Afghanistan, 9 American soldiers killed in a Taliban assault, the deadliest day for Americans in 3 years. What is going on in what some call the Forgotten War? Peter Bergen and Nick Robertson join us with live reports from on the front lines. Also, breaking news, Congress says tonight it's investigating this. A Bush money man caught on tape raising big bucks. No crime there, but he also caught promising high-powered White House access in exchange for those bucks. We'll have the late-breaking development for Keep 'em Honest next on 360.
You see firemen battling poor visibility. At Franklin Templeton, we saw a chance to invest early in a leading thermal imaging technology, a smart investment for our fund shareholders. Perspective like this has made Franklin a leading equity manager. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
We started with a simple almond, added pecans, peanuts, and a hint of sweetness. The result? An extraordinary nut snack. True North.
I've got a proposition for you.
The biggest heist of the year is now on DVD and Blu-ray.
You've opened Pandora's box.
Based on the true story. Jason Statham.
Didn't expect this from you. What did you expect?
The Bank Job on DVD and Blu-ray July 15th with digital copy for iTunes and Windows Media.
CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Every day, millions of people choose to do the right thing. There's an insurance company that does that too. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Raw Politics. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Well, when Barack and Michelle Obama bumped fists at a campaign rally last month, they were using a gesture that athletes and other Americans, especially young Americans, use all the time. That didn't stop one commenter on Fox News from asking if it might be a terrorist fist jab. She later apologized. The comment, however, has been harder to silence. Here's what Michelle Obama had to say about the fist bump on The View.
It is now my signature bump, but let me tell you, I'm not that hip. I got this from the young staff. That's the new high five.
Yes.
It's the fist bump.
It's the fist.
The fist bump brouhaha. Just one example of some of the kind of rumors and misinformation the Obamas are facing. CNN's Joe Johns tonight has the raw politics.
That's a great question.
It's the big lie that simply won't die. How many times does this guy have to say, I'm not a Muslim, for people to just let it go?
I'm a Christian. I pray to Jesus Christ our Savior. Now, I don't, and I've been doing it for many, many years.
And yet pollsters say there's a small but stubborn percentage of Americans who either haven't gotten the message or just won't accept it.
When we ask them, well, do you know what his religion is? Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, whatever, about 12% tell us they believe he's Muslim.
And if you think it's just Republicans, that Pew poll shows half of those who say Obama's a Muslim are from his own party.
It's interesting because the same number of Democrats think that he's Muslim as Republicans, so this crosses party lines.
We're talking about folks like Janice Wolf, who told CNN she's a lifelong Democrat but won't vote for Obama.
Well, I don't like the candidate. I think he's a Muslim.
A new Newsweek poll shows 12% think Obama was sworn into the Senate with his hand on a Quran. Not true. He used the family Bible. 26% think he was raised as a Muslim. Not true. He says his family was not religious. 39% think he attended an Islamic school in Indonesia. Not true. CNN tracked down the school. The headmaster says it's not religious. Fueling all of this is the dark side of the internet, often untraceable emails that perpetuate all the myths about the senator.
And perhaps the most perverse thing of all is that it's threatening to drive a wedge between the Muslim community in America and a campaign that claims to be inclusive.
It's sad in our society that we're in an environment where politically it could be harmful to reach out to Muslims, or where, you know, being labeled a Muslim is a smear.
So is there a way out? Or should Obama just forget about it? A longtime expert on American politics and author of a book on political cartoons says the outrage over the New Yorker magazine cover might just give this issue the kind of sunlight it needs.
Well, a jolt like this may be what is necessary. Because anyone who thinks he's a Muslim is either talking out of ignorance, and so they need truth, or deep prejudice, in which it's useful to point that out.
But some other political observers are not so optimistic. After all, beliefs like these don't necessarily die in the face of the facts. Joe Johns, CNN, Washington.
Well, with that in mind, is the New Yorker's cover satire or smear? In a strategy session earlier, I talked with CNN political contributor and Democratic strategist James Carville and CNN political contributor and conservative radio talk show host Bill Bennett. James, what about it? Satire?
Of course it's satire. It's a magazine that has a long, rich, and illustrative history of using satire. It's not like it's the first time they did it. And it was, you know, it's caused a brouhaha, and I suspect that's what good satire does.
Bill, it has certainly caused anger. I've gotten, tons of emails from people saying this is outrageous.
Yeah, they're right. It's ill-timed and badly targeted. These are intellectuals who are victims of their own illusions about, the benighted right wing, which thinks this is what Obama is, and let's caricature them. But, that's not what conservatives think, and they may think they're very clever, but they're too clever by half. They outsmarted themselves. People don't think it's particularly funny. The Obama campaign doesn't. This guy, whatever people from New Yorker think of him, whether they think he's the second coming or not, to a lot of Americans is still not clear who he is. He's an unformed figure. They're not sure. They're still trying to find out who he is. To make this, put this cartoon on the cover, reifies some people's concerns and worries, not because they're biased or prejudiced, they just don't know who he is. So they got way ahead of themselves. Intellectuals sometimes don't lack common sense.
I'm a little skeptical of the thought police running around the country, saying, well, this is over the top, or this is whatever. I think it is a history. Again, my point is this is something that this magazine has an illustrative and long history of doing. It fit in that context. It certainly is an outstanding publication. And I don't see, I think this is satire, and I think it's fine.
Irving Kristol used to talk about people who were smart, and stupid. Sometimes people just lack common sense. This baby backfired big time.
I think it backfired with people who don't understand the New Yorker and what it's about so much.
I don't think so,
well,
James. I'll bet you the emails are from all over the map.
My point is that I think it's possible, just like what Wes Clark said, being a fighter pilot doesn't qualify you to be president. I think he was absolutely right. If he wasn't right, then let's get Randy Duke Cunningham out of jail and let him be president.
Not talking about Duke Cunningham.
Can I finish?
Yeah, you're going to field, though.
It is possible to call in to say something about John McCain, who is a war hero. That doesn't mean you're unpatriotic. It is possible to use satire about Barack Obama. It doesn't mean that you're intolerant. And I think what we need to do, excuse me, I'll be glad to turn it over. I think we need to call a wide strike zone here and not be this, that, anything else. And I think that the New Yorker brings a lot to, has historically brought a lot to the coverage. A.J. Liebling, who's one of my favorite writers of all time, worked there. So I'm completely understand satire and let the right
use it. Can I have something resembling equal time?
Bill, go ahead.
Satire is fine, but it's got to work. This didn't work. Check Jonathan Swift. If you could trying to make something funny, make it funny. This wasn't funny.
Are you saying it didn't work just because it was on the cover and people who aren't going to read the article will walk by the newsstand and see it and not understand that it's supposed to be satire?
Oh, I think a lot of people will not understand it's supposed to be satire. If they were satirizing the people who are opposed to Obama, why is the Obama campaign so upset about this? This thing is just it's just too clever by half, which means it really isn't clever at all. But leave it out there. Keep selling it. Right. No thought police. This joke didn't work. I heard Remnick. He was saying, well, Stephen Colbert does this all the time, except when Colbert is on, he's often funny. This wasn't funny.
Yeah, again, I think the Obama campaign was wrong, and I'm not a left thought police guy, a right thought police guy. You guys use satire, and push the envelope. That's what we need to do in this country. We need not to take ourselves so seriously. We need to take the issue seriously.
It's not funny, though. Push it cleverly. Push it cleverly. This wasn't clever.
Humor is in the eye of the beholder. I thought it made a good point.
All right. Well, get the reviews. Right. They're selling copies, but I don't think...
My thinking is not based on what reviewers say. My thinking is based on my own observation.
This thing requires too much explanation. Okay. When a joke requires that much explanation, it's not a joke.
Well, more with Carville and Bennett in a moment. Also, is a tight Senate race about to become even more unpredictable? We finally know the answer to the question, will Jesse Ventura run? The answer in a moment. Plus, breaking news, an investigation announced tonight into a Bush fundraiser caught on this tape proclaiming high-level access for cash. Story ahead, breaking on 360.
Italian roadster, a Le Mans racer, and a British limousine. And yet the most valuable car in his collection is a 1972 bus. Today's wealth needs today's wealth management. U.S. Trust.
This is going to come as a shock. There comes a time when you got to do the right thing for the country. Isn't that common sense?
Glenn Beck, Headline News tomorrow night, 7 to 9 Eastern.
Want to save up to $360 a year on your Comcast services? Connect to Comcast Digital Cable, high-speed internet, and digital voice, and save up to $30 a month off regular rates. The more you have, the more you save. 3-product customers also enjoy free membership in Triple Play Rewards, where you'll find exclusive online offers and special discounts. Big monthly savings, Triple Play Rewards. Just 2 of the many ways Comcast adds up to the best value.
I love my Comcast video and high-speed internet, but by adding Comcast phone service, I became a VIP.
Comcast built their phone service from the ground up.
They monitor their network 24/7 for reliability.
I get tons of free calling features.
Unlimited nationwide calling.
And as a VIP, I only pay $33 a month and got a free DVR.
I save almost 30% over the phone company.
I guess that's what it means to be a VIP.
News in the morning, American Morning, CNN tomorrow, 6 a.m.
Stand by and let our children drop out of school and turn to gangs for the support they're not getting elsewhere in the community. That's not the freedom that we fought to achieve. That's not the America that our leadership sought to build. That's not the dream they had for our children.
Barack Obama talking tonight, about an hour or two ago, to members of the NAACP, speaking again about personal responsibility and honoring the sacrifices made in the civil rights movement. Back when those sacrifices were made, some of the people putting their lives on the line for civil rights were seen as somehow less than American. Martin Luther King, for instance, was falsely called a communist by no less than the head of the FBI. Barack Obama is a politician, of course, but he's also seen by some as being less than fully American. The cover of The New Yorker was meant to satirize that view. Maybe it backfired, maybe it didn't. More now from my conversation earlier with James Carville and Bill Bennett. Bill, does The New Yorker get credit for trying to sort of poke fun at or start a discussion about a lot of the rumors that are out there and a lot of the way these two have been framed?
No, this is a professional magazine. Look, it's often a first-rate magazine. I read a lot of it. I quote it a lot. I cite it. You don't get credit if you're The New Yorker for trying. You get credit for succeeding. And when you put up a balloon like this and it deflates like this has, You don't get credit, you get criticized. That's it.
I suspect that this cartoon will neither bring Senator Obama down or rise him up.
James,
he's going down for some reason.
In terms of the rumors that are out there about them, I mean, how do you, from a political standpoint, go about addressing them without sort of trafficking in them?
I think that they are.
As Joe Johns pointed out, there are a bunch of people who still think Barack Obama's a Muslim.
It's all, the people that, there's a bunch of people out there that think the Earth is flat. There's a bunch of people who think the Earth is 5,000 years old. Can you imagine anything that ridiculous? Would you let them think that? What can you do? If somebody right now wants to believe the Earth is 5,000 years old, I can't convince them any differently. Let them go talk to the state legislature, some such foolishness as that.
But the way to deal with false impressions is with the truth, with true impressions. I've said on my radio show 100,000 times, this guy is not a Muslim. I don't think, I think that might have helped Obama a little bit, but it's the cause of the truth. I don't think the New Yorker helped at all. This is Harold Rosenberg called intellectuals once a herd of independent minds, All these guys talking to each other in an echo chamber. They should have tested this out a little bit, maybe in some place other than Manhattan.
Is this election tougher for Obama in the sense of sort of more hurdles he has to overcome, being the first African-American candidate?
I mean, Senator McCain was the first person to get elected. That's over 70. He has his own hurdles. But the problem is he can't get the yoke of the Bush administration and these disastrous right-wing policies from around his neck. He's trying to run. It's a Teddy Roosevelt. He doesn't know anybody. He's now back to Teddy Roosevelt and progressive era. And I mean, I think people that want change in this country, which are overwhelming none of them, majority of them are going to vote for Senator Obama. But the cover of the New Yorker, the effective use of satire notwithstanding.
It's not a major thing. It's a relatively small thing. But look, they each have hurdles to overcome. Anderson, James mentioned a couple about John McCain. He's fighting gravity. I mean, Republicans are in disfavor. Right track, wrong track. How does this guy stay up? How does he stay afloat? Newsweek had Obama had 15 points last month. This week they got him ahead 3 points. I don't know how McCain's doing it. But Obama's problem is a different kind of problem, and it was something the New Yorker didn't help with. Obama's problem is people are still not sure who he is. If they're not sure who he is, this double, clever, sarcastic satire confused a lot of people.
We're going to leave it there. Bill Bennett, James Carville. Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Still ahead tonight, breaking news. Access to the President Bush's top aides in exchange for cold, hard cash. Is that what happened? We have the videotape and news of an investigation breaking tonight. We're keeping them honest. And will he or won't he? Jesse Ventura making up his mind finally about running for Senate. We think, sort of. His decision next.
Right now at Pearl Vision, you can get free eyeglasses for you or anyone in your family. When you buy one complete pair of glasses, you get the second pair free. Only at Pearl Vision, because we want you to see more.
50,000 going once, twice, sold to the gentleman in the center.
I want to go ahead and sell it now.
Constantly buying and selling stocks doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones advises clients to buy long-term investments.
Hey, honey, did you pack my flip-flops?
What, hon?
Did you pack my flip-flops?
What?
I can't find my... I need my... Really?
Travelocity will contact you ahead of time if your hotel's undergoing construction.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a big week.
Part of the Travelocity guarantee. Whee! Travelocity. You'll never roam alone.
为什么天亮的时候，云朵总是那么的暗？
All the beauty this world has to offer should be a gift for all to see. Sharing timeless values. Samsung.
Saturday and Sunday night, CNN and Essence Magazine present Soledad O'Brien with Black Leaders. This is about innovation.
We have got to find our voice.
It's about personal responsibility. The problems, the solutions, reclaiming the dream. CNN, Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
From the network that brought you the award-winning God's Warriors, Planet in Peril. Now, an unprecedented CNN investigation. Black in America. July 23rd and 24th on CNN.
Closed captioning hours provided by Vonage. For a better way to phone, call 877-4Vonage.
How much can you save on your phone bill with Vonage? Vonage saves you up to $300 a year. Call 877-4Vonage or go online to 4Vonage.com.
Later this hour, the alleged bidding war for those first pictures of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's newborn twins. We'll have the latest. But first, Randy Kay joins us with a 360 Bulletin. Randy?
Hi there, Anderson. In an exclusive interview, former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura told Larry King just an hour or so ago that he has made up his mind about whether to enter that hotly contested Senate race in Minnesota between Democrat Al Franken and Republican Norm Coleman.
I will tell you now, I am not going to run at this moment. But if between now and 5 o'clock, maybe God comes and speaks to me like he did the president and tells me I should run like he apparently told the president to invade Iraq, well, then maybe at 5 o'clock tomorrow, Larry, don't call me a liar. Just understand God sent me to file. How's that?
Citing surging gas prices, President Bush today lifted a ban on offshore oil drilling, but drilling cannot begin without congressional approval, and that is considered highly unlikely. Hurricane Bertha is now just a tropical storm and walloped Bermuda today with ferocious winds and some waves. On the eastern seaboard, though, Bertha is blamed for several drownings over the weekend.
All right, Randy, here's tonight's Beat 360 photo. Take a look. No, Cindy McCain is not planning to start steering the Straight Talk Express, but she is learning some of the finer points of race car driving before the start of the IndyCar Series 200 auto race in Tennessee on Saturday. So here's the caption from Brooke, our staff winner. When you find the campaign is drifting to the far right, just turn back towards the middle of the road.
Oh, very clever. That's good.
Yeah. Think you can do better? And I could not. Go to our new website, ac360.com. Click on the Beat 360 link. Send us your entry. We'll announce the winner at the end of the program. Of course, the winner gets a wonderful new T-shirt. Still ahead, breaking news. Did a Bush fundraiser and lobbyist cross the line while wrangling donations for the Bush Library? His deal-making caught on tape. We'll show you the tape. It's now under investigation. We're keeping them honest. Plus, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt had babies this weekend. Twins, the latest on their and other celebrities' efforts to sell their kids' photos for millions of dollars. Even if the money is going to charity, is it the right thing to do? When 360 continues.
Tired of all the rubbing and scrubbing, cleaning the hard way?
Anthony Sullivan here for the new Sonic Scrubber. This powerful, portable Sonic cleaner is easy on your arm, weighs only ounces, and fits in the palm of your hand. It blasts away dirt and grime in seconds without any manual scrubbing. Sonic Scrubber's strong bristle brush uses sonic oscillation technology to scrub away bathroom buildup, making cleaning much faster, easier, and better. Its high-powered scrubbing easily tackles the toughest bathroom cleaning jobs and powers through the stuff you go crazy trying to clean. You can't scrub corners with a toothbrush, but Sonic Scrubber can. Just snap on the comb brush. Its pointed end and angled design gets into corners and makes dirty old grout look new. Its highly effective scrubbing even removes calcium and hard water stains. Use the soft bristle brush for fixtures. It contours to the curves, bringing back the shine. The secret's the Sonic technology. You get an amazing 3,600 powerful high-torque scrubs per minute, destroying dirt and grime on contact. Use the large bristle brush for bigger jobs. It's great for removing the ring of soap scum in the tub. Call now and you'll get the Sonic Scrubber plus 5 scrub brushes for just $19.98. But that's not all. Call right now, and for a penny more, we'll include a Sonic Scrubber for the kitchen and around the house. Just pay separate shipping and handling. Use it for the many everyday household cleanups. It even powers out burnt-on cookware messes, easily cleans up a dirty stovetop, and nothing's better for microwave spills and splatters. The Sonic Scrubber is even powerful enough to loosen stains on carpet, clothing, and furniture with no fabric damage. You get it all. Both Sonic Scrubbers plus 6 scrub brushes, all for just $19.99. But if you call right now, we'll throw in a second full set for 50% off. Only $9.99 plus shipping and handling. It makes a great gift. Here's how to order.
Call 800-517-4139 to get your set of Sonic Scrubbers for only $19.99. If you call now, we'll give you the second set for 50% off. Just call 800-517-4139. That's 800-517-4139.
We have breaking news to bring you now involving fundraising, promises of access to power, possibly the White House, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cold, hard cash. Tonight, we learned just a few hours ago that Congressman Henry Waxman, who runs a powerful House Oversight Committee, wants to know more about an incident caught on tape. A Bush fundraiser on camera trying to rustle up donations for the Bush Library. He says he was doing nothing wrong and blames the media for playing gotcha. But that has not put out the firestorm this videotape is kicking up. CNN's Ed Henry tonight, keeping him honest.
Promises of access to the president's top aides in exchange for contributions to the George W. Bush Library and some cold hard cash on the side for the man brokering the deal. The whole discussion caught on tape. Here's what he said. A couple of $100,000. I think that would probably get the attention of people raising the money. That's Texas lobbyist and Bush fundraiser Stephen Payne. unwitting star of this shocking video, secretly recorded by the Times of London. You see him here trying to wrangle a donation to the Bush Library from a man whom he thought was representing the exiled former president of Kyrgyzstan. Payne again. 200, 250, something like that. That's going to be a show of, we're interested. In exchange for the money, Payne is caught on tape promising to set up meetings with top administration officials, including the vice president. Payne again. Cheney's possible. Definitely the national security advisor. Definitely Dr. Rice. The White House distanced itself from Payne and suggested he's no insider.
There's categorically no link between any official business and the Bush Library. Steve Payne was never an employee of the White House, but we do use hundreds of volunteers a year, as you know, for helping us do advance work.
The White House does admit Payne helped with logistics on some foreign trips, and Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff did appoint him to an advisory committee. And of course, he did raise $200,000 for the president's re-election campaign. In a long written statement to CNN, Payne called the Times of London story gotcha journalism. He acknowledged mentioning to his apparent clients that they might be able to make donations to think tanks, foundations, and/or President Bush's library, but said he made it very clear that there could be no quid pro quo. Payne showed us emails where he wrote he would accept the $250,000 and pass it directly to the library, while noting that he could not promise specific government action in return, because that would be bribery.
It seems like something's different in the tape than is in the printed letter. I guess the key question is, did this guy, Stephen Payne, get White House meetings for his clients?
I asked Dana Perino that question at the White House briefing today. She said she didn't know. So I asked, well, will the White House release visitor logs so we can see how many times has Stephen Payne in recent years been going in and out of the White House, and has he been bringing various clients? This turned out to be a fake client, but he does purport to have other clients. Has he brought them in? She said she was going to consult with White House lawyers, but now you have, as you mentioned earlier, Chairman Henry Waxman on Capitol Hill trying to investigate this. But I can tell you, he's been trying to get visitor logs and other things. He's been trying to get other documents from the White House for months and months now, and he's not been very successful. So it's very unlikely we're going to get those documents.
It's kind of remarkable you can't get visitor logs at the White House. I mean, it seems it's the public's building. But are there any regulations on these presidential libraries? I mean, any public disclosure requirements? President Clinton, I think, famously has not disclosed, who's given money to his library.
It's pretty much a lot of potential for abuse. Very little regulations. Basically, someone can come up and there's no limit on donations, $1 million, $5 million. You could be a foreign entity, a foreign government, and there's really basically no public disclosure. You're not required to publicly release your donors like you would in a presidential campaign. That is obviously, there's a lot of potential for abuse, and this investigation on the Hill is going to focus in not just on Republican, but Democratic libraries potentially as well. Are foreign governments, foreign entities trying to influence the U.S. government, Anderson?
All right, Ed Henry, keep on it. Thanks, Ed. Up next, a major battle in Afghanistan. 9 Americans killed fighting against hundreds of Taliban militants, maybe even al-Qaeda. Is this only the beginning? Peter Bergen, Nick Robertson report on the front lines. Plus, big charges in the murder of a Fort Bragg soldier. An arrest has been made. We'll tell you who it is and why they're in custody tonight.
The neutral wall for very modern, clean feel.
So, please, I'll get this. Thank you. Of course.
Was ist das denn für eine Karte?
Auf Fluss. Good day. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks.
I think that went well.
Yeah. Let me get this, okay?
If you own your business, own the card that says so. The Gold Card. Now earn enough points for a domestic airline ticket. To apply, call 1-800-NOW-OPEN. American Express Open. Calling all business owners.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator.
The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all of the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp. Where we come from, high gas prices are nothing new.
Perhaps that's why BMW offers more vehicles that average at least 28 miles per gallon than any other luxury automaker. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Test drive one of our fuel-efficient vehicles today.
Oh, this is interesting. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Greg.
I think we have a little competition. What do you say we move forward with that new data center like we did with the LA office?
Sure, Greg. We can customize your Blade servers with the same software and security we discussed yesterday.
Right, so I just plug in and I'm good to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I call that? Sweet.
Turning new technology into your technology. CDW is there with the customized solutions you need.
Oh, look at this. Bring it on.
In the 360 Dispatch tonight, we're learning much more about the surprise large-scale attack in Afghanistan that ended with the greatest single loss of American life in 3 years of combat there. 9 American troops were killed, 15 injured yesterday when hundreds of Taliban fighters stormed an operating base near the Pakistan border. U.S. officials called a major enemy offensive, said insurgents breached an observation post outside the base before being driven back. The resurgence of the Taliban and al-Qaeda both fueling a very dangerous turn in Afghanistan. June was the deadliest month for the U.S. since the war began. With that, let's talk strategy and reality on the ground in Afghanistan. Joining me are senior international correspondent Nick Robertson and CNN national security analyst Peter Bergen, who is in Kabul. Peter, how significant is the scale of this attack? The fact that the Taliban and perhaps al-Qaeda could mount such a major operation, what does that tell you?
Well, they've been resurging for years, as you know, Addison, but they seem to really control a lot more territory. They seem to have developed tactics that allow them to attack inside Kabul, pull off an attempted assassination against President Karzai, blow up the Indian embassy, killing 41 people, and then this attack that you referenced earlier, indicating an ability to mount large-scale operations, not just IED attacks, but full-on frontal assaults on American soldiers, Anderson.
Nick, just a couple of weeks ago, you were embedded with Marines in Afghanistan. What did you see there? What did you learn on the ground?
Well, that IEDs are being used a lot more. We were out on patrol that discovered an IED. That was 10 they discovered that month. That I was very surprised that commanders, I was with the 24th MEU, and they'd expected a 2 to 3 day battle with the Taliban in their piece of Helmand. They got a 35-day battle. So I was very surprised that commanders didn't have a better sense of what the Taliban were about to do in the area they were going into. Also, the local officials in the area were saying, look, the Taliban are just beyond this new front line. Go after them, but the Marines couldn't go after them because they don't have enough troops to do it. So those things really struck me.
Peter, we're told that al-Qaeda in Iraq is on the run. Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and in Pakistan, how much are they behind this, working with the Taliban? What do we know about the relationship between the two?
Well, I think al-Qaeda has influenced the Taliban both ideologically and tactically. I mean, ideologically, the Taliban, certainly the upper reaches of the Taliban, see themselves as part of the global jihad, are talking about trying to attack in London and New York in some cases. And of course, they've adopted all of al-Qaeda's tactics, suicide bombings, IEDs, etc. And I was recently in Iraq, and it's clear that a lot of the foreign fighters who might have gone to Iraq, according to U.S. officials, are now going to Afghanistan, which they see as basically a safer place, a place where they're going to have less problems, and also a place where they might have a bigger impact.
Nick, what do you see as the main reason behind this shift, behind these increasing attacks? I mean, is the Taliban doing something differently?
Well, what the coalition commanders say they're doing differently is taking the fight to the Taliban, but speak to coalition commanders and speak as well as I did to some people who used to be very, very close to the Taliban, have good insights into what the Taliban are doing and thinking. Now the Taliban are becoming increasingly popular with the Pashtun people. This is the people in the east of Afghanistan and the west, that border tribal region of Pakistan, where the Taliban are becoming much stronger. So the Taliban are becoming much more popular with those people, that though they have a history of standing up to, as they see it, to Western attacks, both the Russians and the British back in the 19th century. So the Taliban are becoming more popular. And when you take troops to fight them, they're able to then recruit more people in those local villages. Plus, President Karzai isn't very strong outside of Kabul. He isn't seen as being very popular with many Pashtun people. And for that reason, there are big tribal problems that could be addressed by President Karzai if he was stronger, and this would probably head off some of the fighting and therefore head off a growth and resurgence of the Taliban. So there are many issues.
Peter, there was an op-ed today in which Senator Obama says we're basically under-resourced in the region. He said that If he was president, he would provide, and I quote, at least 2 additional combat brigades to support our effort in Afghanistan. He says we need more troops, more helicopters, better intelligence gathering, more non